Islamic viewers. Hope so you will be fine. Today I will do the rest of the part of the essay, but before this I would like to give my introduction. I hope so you know me, and so I'm Juliana Osman and you are welcome to my YouTube channel. But before starting this video, don't forget to subscribe my channel and watch my videos fully and hit on bell icon so as you may receive my videos. So we were doing essay writing of CSS exam, and for 3 days I am continuously doing this work. I am explaining you that how to write an essay. First of all, I have told you that what are the principles of writing an essay in CSS exam. Later on, as an example, I have started an essay of CSS rights of women in Islam as compared to other civilizations. Okay, so this was the lecture but of yesterday. So I have told you that in different civilization women did not enjoy their rights. It was Islam which has given due rights to women. Alright, so first of all I have discussed introduction, then I discussed different civilization, that in different civilization how the women were behaved. So later on in second video I came to different rights of women which were given by Islam. These rights were economic rights, spiritual rights, and the thirdly I was discussing about social rights of women in Islam. And I have told you that social rights of women in Islam have been categorized in 4 parts. The rights of daughters, the rights of wife in Islam, the right of mother in Islam, right of sisters in Islam. Alright, so in yesterday's video I have discussed right of daughters in Islam in respect to social rights. But due to load shedding, I had to stop my lecture. So I am continuing this lecture again, but we will do the rights of wife in Islam. Alright, so let's discuss about the rights of wife in Islam. So I will discuss now the rights of wife in Islam, and this heading also comes into the category of social rights of women in Islam. So there are different headings which I have written separately here. You can see here, before nikah she has right to refuse. It means that when the marriage is going to be held and the nikah ceremony has been started, then the bride has right to either refuse or accept. It means that she has been asked that whether she wants to come into the nikah of blah 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 person, and if she thinks that she should accept that nikah, she will say yes, and if she doesn't want to accept that nikah, she can refuse. So she has right to refuse or accept that she wants to come in the nikah of that person or not. Alright, so this right has been given by Islam. She is not forced to accept by any member of the family. Alright, so it was the first heading. You can describe in this way. So let's come to second heading. She can demand anything at the time of nikah. At the time of nikah, she can demand to her upcoming husband that whether I want this thing and this thing should be given to me, otherwise I will not accept the nikah. Alright, so it is her right that if she demands and the husband considers that she wants to marry with that girl, so it is his duty to fulfill that demand. Alright, so right to accept or reject any proposal. Before starting marriage, she has given the proposal of any person. So it is her right that whether she marries or not. So it is her right to accept or reject the proposal. Right to have a separate home, as she has started her life with her husband and she has entered into the civil contract of nikah, and you should know well that nikah is a civil contract in the eye of law. So according to that contract, this is a religious contract also, and according to that contract, she can claim of having a separate home. So this right cannot be denied if she wants that she wants to live at a separate home. She does not want to live with the parents of husband and she wants separate home, so she can make this demand. Alright, so right to meher. Do you know what is a meher? Meher is the amount which husband has to pay in the lieu of nikah, and the right of meher cannot be denied in any way, and the person who doesn't pay meher, she will be called as a rapist on the day of judgment. So it is the duty of the husband to pay meher to his wife. It is the right of wife, and this right will not be forgiven in any way. Alright, so the right to meher, one day this is story I want to tell you, but it will come in separate heading. I will tell you in the same essay what Hazrat Umar Farooq Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu said about meher and how he was criticized by a woman on the amount of meher. I will tell you, but later on in other heading. So this is about rights of wife in Islam. So let's discuss first. Right to protect. It is the duty of the husband to protect her wife, to give her security. It is the duty of her husband. Before marriage, this is the duty of father and brother. But after marriage, it is the right of it is the duty of husband to protect her. She is considered as the leader of a family. She is considered as a leader of a family. How? The husband is considered as a king of his family, but the system of family is run by a wife. Okay, so she is considered the prime minister of her family, who runs the system of family. The husband's responsibility is to earn money, and to manage the system of family is the work of wife. That is why she is titled as the leader of her family. So these were the headings of rights of wife in Islam, but I will discuss some Quranic verse in this context. So let's discuss about the rights of wife in Islam, but in the light of the verses of Holy Quran. Alright. So right to khula. Sorry, I have discussed this last right. I forget to discuss this last right to khula. The khula is a very important right, which is the right of women given by Islam. As this is a general concept that that man always considers that he can give divorce to his wife. So he thinks that he is very powerful. He is empowered as compared to women's right. but Islam has given the same right to khula. Suppose that if one woman doesn't want to live with her husband, she thinks that her mentality does not match with her husband and she can't spend her rest of life with her husband, so she goes to court and file the application of khula into the court, and the court calls her husband and the court try to bring reconciliation between husband and wife. But if the court considers that they do not have mutual understanding and they cannot spend with all together, so the court pronounced khula, and this right has been given purely to women. And you know well that that in village system the woman is always punished, and if she wants to live separately from her husband, she doesn't want to live with her husband, but her husband doesn't give her freedom, and he thinks that if he would not divorce to his wife, then his wife will lead his all life with him and she will not be able to go anywhere else. That is why Islam has curtailed this right of husband and gave right to khula to the women. Alright, so right to khula is a purely right of women which cannot be denied by anyone. So the Quran says in the about the rights of women in Islam that but consort with your wives in kindness, यानी कि अपने साथी के साथ, your wife is your life partner, be consort with your wives in kindness, अपने साथी के साथ हमेशा रहमदिली के साथ जो है गुजारा करो, for even if you hate them, हत्ता कि अगर तुम उनसे नफरत करते हो तब भी जो है तुम्हें अपने साथी के साथ रहमदिली के साथ सलूक करना है. You might be hating, हो तुम जो उससे नफरत कर रहे हो, someone in whom God has placed so much good, लेकिन खुदा उनसे बहुत ज़्यादा प्यार करता है. भले ही तुम नफरत करते हो, but it is the creature of Almighty Allah and Allah loves her great. That is why if you even hate her, you have to treat her with kindness. You will not do any maltreat with her. Okay, so these are the rights of wife which I have explained you. Now I will explain you the rights of mother in Islam, but these all are subheadings of social rights of women in Islam. So let's start rights of mother in Islam. So rights of mothers in Islam I will discuss here. There are so many rights of mothers in Islam, but I have very short time, that is why I will discuss few. So as Holy Prophet said that the paradise is under the feet of mother, under the feet of mother, यानी कि जन्नत माँ के कदमों के नीचे हैं. Otherwise in other oldest civilization the Jannat was only fixed for male, which was wrong concept, but Islam has elevated the status of women and it has titled the women that mother that the paradise is under the feet of mother, यानी कि जन्नत माँ के कदमों के नीचे हैं. जो it was so the wrong concept of oldest civilization was declared null and void by Islam. The second is 3 times mother is superior and the 4th father. It means that, see, I have written these points in the form of words, but I will tell you the incident, then you will learn it. So what happened? Someone has asked to Holy Prophet that to whom I should be obedient more, यानी कि मुझे किसका ज़्यादा फरमाबरदार होना चाहिए. So the Holy Prophet said once, okay, you should be obedient to your mother and you should bring happiness for her. Again the person asked to Holy Prophet that to whom I should be obedient. Holy Prophet again said, second time he said that you should be obedient to your mother and you should bring happiness for her. Okay, the third time the same question was asked by that person to the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, that to whom I should be obedient. Then the third time Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, said that you should be obedient to your mother and you should bring happiness for her, you should make her happy. The fourth time the same question was asked by that person, that to whom I should be obedient. The Holy Prophet at the fourth time said you should be obedient to your father. It means the mother was given preference how many times? 3 times. यानी कि औरत का दर्जा जो है 3 गुना बुलंद कर दिया गया था मर्द से, यानी कि माँ का दर्जा जो है चौथे दर्जे तक बुलंद किया, माँ का दर्जा जो है 3 गुना ज़्यादा था मर्द के दर्जे से, बाप के दर्जे से. So you can consider that if someone is disobedient to his or her mother, he will be counted as a sinner in front of Allah. So thirdly, the Islam has elevated the status of women. The women who endures the trials of pregnancy or pains she has, and all these trials are compared to Hajj. Means the woman who is pregnant and she bears the pain of this thing, that trial is compared to Hajj. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ कि औरत जो हामिला है और वो जो दर्द बर्दाश्त करती है, उसकी इस बर्दाश्त करने की कुव्वत को हज करने से मतलब कंपेयर किया गया है. हज के बराबर उसका सवाब है. She is given the reward of Hajj in the lieu of the trial of pregnancy and pains. Alright, so these were 3 rights which I have discussed about the status of women in Islam as regard to rights of mothers in Islam. There are other hadiths. There are Quranic verses which you have to discuss for prolonging your essay, but I have short time, that is why I made you understand in the form of these lines. Alright, so let's come to rights of sisters in Islam. So the last heading is rights of sisters in Islam, and after doing this heading, after completion of this heading, the social rights of women in Islam will be completed. Though this is last but not the least, the knowledge is very extensive, but due to shortage of time I am discussed in less way. But you can search other things also. You can search Quranic references, you can search hadith in the favor of women. Alright, so these all things you have to do. You have to do research, you have to do study. So let's come to our heading, rights of sisters in Islam. As I have told you earlier that the girl is responsibility of her father, and after father she is the responsibility of her brother. And in case the father has been expired, and so in that case the brother is responsible for her sister. It is the duty of her brother to bear all his financial needs. It is the duty of the brother to secure her. It is the duty of the brother to give him the right of education. It is the duty of the brother to get her married with the good person. So these all are the responsibilities which are on the shoulder of her brother. As Holy Prophet said that, "O people, fear from Allah in the matter of women." कि ए लोगों, औरतों के मामलात में अल्लाह से डरा करो. You know, well, I think on the occasion of Hajjatul Wada, Holy Prophet emphasized on the rights of women and said people that people get fear from Allah in the matter of women, as they are your responsibility. As Holy Prophet was the only son of his parents, he had no sister and no brother, but the Dai Halima has brought him, यानी कि उन्हें जो है परवरिश की उनकी. So Dai Halima had one daughter, Shima, who was sister of Holy Prophet, and Holy Prophet used to give her respect. Holy Prophet knew the dignity of her sister. That is why he always gave her a lot of respect, and he used to say that she is my sister. So you can consider that what is the status of sister in Islam. So Islam has emphasized the rights of sisters in Islam, the rights of mothers in Islam, the rights of wife in Islam, and the rights of daughters in Islam. Islam has not said anywhere that only brother is superior. Islam has said men and women both are superior, whether the person is working as a brother or the person is working as a sister. Both are important in the light of the teaching of Islam. So I hope so you understood this lecture, and we will discuss other session in this regard. I hope so you like my video, as I have told you these rights about Islam, and this session has been divided in multiple parts. So we were doing today the third part of this essay writing. So we will come to a fourth part, but tomorrow I hope so I will complete this essay. I daily try to complete it, but due to shortage of time and due to that the video becomes too long. That is why I have to stop. So I hope so you like my video, and if you like my video, don't forget to subscribe my channel and watch my videos fully and hit the bell icon, so as you will receive other knowledgeable videos like this. I will bring new things for you, but don't forget to subscribe my channel. तब तक के लिए आप जुलियाना उस्मान को इजाज़त दीजिए. अल्लाह हाफिज़.